It just occurred to me that I really need to update my podcast image. Anyways, hello everybody. Joker216 here, and I'm doing another podcast because that's what I do. I apologize if you hear any clanking in the background. That's my ceiling fan, which, despite it not moving very much, it still manages to make a very clinking, clanking sound when it's on, and I need it on because otherwise this room would be a lot hotter than it is. But anyways, I'm only going to talk about a couple of things today. I know I said last podcast I was going to delve into, comics industry and how politics being shoehorned into comics are kind of killing comics, you know, and when I say that, I should probably, clarify. When I say politics don't belong in comics, I mean like those comics they made where Spider-Man met Barack Obama, or Barack Obama had comics made about him, or even Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. Basically, if you are making a comic with the sole reason to further an agenda of a certain real life political party, you're messing up big time, you know? And I know I defend Frank Miller despite a lot of his idiocies in his later years. And that's mostly because I love Dark Knight Returns, which in itself has a lot of political statements in it. So I understand the hypocrisy there. But for me personally, it just, I don't know, for some reason it fits with Dark Knight Returns. Like I say I love Dark Knight Returns, but even I can admit it's very flawed story. Like, for one thing, I've never been a fan of the whole Superman is a stooge of the American government. I've never enjoyed politics or political messages in my entertainment media. I just want to pick up a comic and read it. I don't want to read about Wonder Woman protesting and going on a march against Washington because she doesn't agree with, some politics. I want to see Wonder Woman fighting. I want to see Wonder Woman being awesome. I want to see her fighting her rogues gallery. I want to see her interacting with heroes that, she normally wouldn't. Like, we've seen how she interacts with Superman and Batman. I would like to see how she interacts with Green Arrow, Green Lantern, the Flash, even Supergirl. Just, I'm sure that they've tackled on this in other comics that I have yet to read, because I love comics, but I haven't read a whole lot of them, at least as far as classic superhero ones, because I grew up with the Batman comics and the Superman comics. And I got some Green Arrow comics, but the only Green Arrow comic that I currently own is Year One. But if the political message fits in with the story, that's one thing entirely. But when the entire objective of the story is, oh, I disagree with so and so political figures, politics, and so I'm going to use this superhero as a figure. Like, this superhero is supposed to represent me, calling out things that I disagree with in our government. But I'm not going to delve too much into that. This podcast, I'm going to briefly talk about wrestling oriented stuff. So I'm going to warn you now, if you don't, if you're not interested in wrestling at all, like pro wrestling, not like legitimate Olympic wrestling, but professional wrestling, like WWE, Total Nonstop Action, or Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you're not interested in that specific type of wrestling, then you're better off pausing and going elsewhere, because I'm going to spend a great deal talking about that. I'm also going to talk about the fact that I finally. Okay, I'll start off with this. I'll start off with this and then save the wrestling stuff for later, so that people who aren't into the wrestling stuff, they can just check out of the podcast once I start. I'll announce when I do. But anyways, this past weekend, I finally achieved something. Two things. I finally achieved two things this weekend that I otherwise thought I would never be able to achieve. One of those things is I finally found a Sonic amiibo at my local GameStop. For those of you who are unaware, ever since it was released, I've been pining for a Sonic the Hedgehog amiibo. I am a massive Sonic fan. Right down to my email tone being Sonic's jump sound effect. But anyways, I'm a massive Sonic fan. I collect almost anything with Sonic on it. Chances are I'm going to get it. You know, whether it's posters, whether it's drawings, whether it's comics, whether it's action figures, shirts, video games, obviously, and sometimes even wallpapers. I've even drawn Sonic in several situations. I've drawn Sonic myself. I love Sonic. Like he's one of my he's probably my most favorite video game character of all time. I understand that, there's a stigma against Sonic fans, and I just don't care. If you don't like Sonic, that's all well and good, but understand that I'm really not going to care of your criticisms because while I love Sonic, I can still admit that the games, especially recently, have been extremely flawed. From Sonic 2006 onward. I mean, hell, even the classic Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, they have aged very poorly. But at the time, they were awesome games, and I still enjoy them to this day despite the flaws. And I absolutely love how people bring up, oh, enjoyed glitching through the floor in Sonic Adventure 1. You know what? As far as glitching through the floor in Sonic Adventure 1, that's never happened to me when I played the game. Maybe it's just maybe it's just my copy of the game isn't messed up. Maybe it's because I haven't modded my Sonic Adventure to hell. And maybe it's because I don't play games looking for glitches. Like there are people who, they do this on YouTube and other places. They actively look for glitches within the game. You know, again, I find the whole glitch argument with Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 to be very, kind of niche because again, it hasn't happened to me. So, I mean, but again, not everybody has the same exact experience as me. Everybody has different experiences with everything. But that's beside the point. I'm getting way off topic. This is not about, this is not about Sonic rants or whatever. This is about the fact that I finally got a Sonic amiibo, and since they came out, I've been looking for one, and it got on my nerves because I never found one, and I wanted to order one online. Like everyone told me, just order it online. Order it online. Here's why I didn't order it online. Those of you who are curious, because obviously I didn't. The reason I didn't is because I had ordered a Link amiibo. I had ordered a Link amiibo, the 8-bit Link amiibo, and I ordered it off Amazon. It came to me broken. It came to me broken. I sent it back. They apparently were out of stock. I couldn't get one. I got my money back, and I was just like, all right, I am not ordering an amiibo online again. Like, I know that's kind of childish, and oh yeah, you should really give them a second chance. I order off Amazon. They don't always send things broken to me. I've ordered games off Amazon. I've ordered comics off Amazon, and they've come to me in pristine condition. But amiibos is just I don't want to have to deal with that again. And amiibos look very easily breakable. And the point is, I just didn't want to have to deal with the hassle of paying for the amiibo and then the shipping and handling costs because that added onto it. So I would promise myself, okay, sooner or later I'm gonna run into a Sonic amiibo, and that's when I'll get it. And I did. And as soon it was the last one in stock. I was so happy that I got it. So happy that I immediately went on my Discord chat group, my public one, and I posted a picture of it. It's like I am just ecstatic. I am just ugh. I was giddy. I was a little fangirl. Yes, I was. Right. I'm looking at it right now with my amiibo collection. I currently have 4 amiibos. I have the special edition Midna and Wolf Link amiibo. I have the Link amiibo, and I have the Sheik amiibo. The Link and Sheik amiibo were actually gifts from a friend of mine. A friend of mine goes by BRM. A lot of you have seen him on my streams. A lot of you have probably spoken to him personally. But yeah, he gifted me those two. And then there's my Sonic one, which I got myself. It's also standing. It's also standing on top. It's also standing in front of my Arkham City Collector's Edition, where my special Mad Moxie pop vinyl figure is just standing on top of it. It's amazing. But anyways, the other thing that I managed to do that I have not been able to do for the longest time is I finally secured myself a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Magician Girl card. I've been looking for one for years, and I could never get one. I bought like several lots of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I bought several lots of it because I wasn't about to just search up Dark Magician Girl and just spend like $10 for a single card. I want the card, but I don't want the card that badly. Like I wasn't like I was always of the mind that if I'm gonna get the Dark Magician Girl, then I'm gonna get a whole bunch of cards with it. You know. And so I was at Target this past weekend, and I saw that they had starter decks for Yugi and Kaiba. I saw the Kaiba deck. It was like the classic Kaiba deck. It had the Blue Eyes White Dragon. It had, um, Lajin, the mystical genie of the lamp. I think it had Ryukin too. I wasn't paying too much attention, but I looked at the Yugi one. It had the Dark Magician, and I was like, oh, Magician's Valkyria. That's almost the next best thing, the Dark Magician Girl. Then I saw it had the Dark Magician Girl in that collection, and I was like, to buy or not to buy. $10 for yet another Yugi starter deck, because when I was a kid, I got both the classic Yugi starter deck and the remastered Yugi starter deck, and now I have yet a third Yugi starter deck, which this one has Magician's Valkyria and Dark Magician Girl. I was a massive Yu-Gi-Oh fan back in the day. I I remember wanting to go see the Pyramid of Light movie when it first came out. And truth be told, that movie is again, I don't want to call it a guilty pleasure, but it's definitely not a good one. It's just entertaining to watch, and the only reason it's that entertaining is because it's Yu-Gi-Oh. And I'm always entertained by the over the topness of Yu-Gi-Oh. Always. I understand that there's a new movie out right now, Yu-Gi-Oh, and a lot of people are saying that it's not very good. I guess I'll have to be the judge of that. I'll have to see it myself. I'll have to find a place where I can either legally watch it or illegally watch it. I'm sure it'll be uploaded on YouTube in due time. Maybe Little Karibo would do a parody of it. But I'd really like to watch the new Yu-Gi-Oh movie. I hear bad things, but again, those of you who know me, I don't necessarily take other people's opinions into factor when it comes to seeing something. Like a lot of people said, for example, that Suicide Squad was a bad movie. I know I delved on this already, but I went to go see it despite that. Just like you know certain other movies, like let me think of a different one that people really were not against. That first person movie. I don't know if anyone remembers that one. It was like the entire movie was shot in first person. I forget the name of the movie, but I know that that movie it looked interesting to me. And my brother, we saw the trailer while we were watching a movie, and was just like, hey, that seems like a really good movie. It seems like an awesome movie. And a lot of people said that it was bad. I saw it, and it was good. It was fun. Like it wasn't like amazing. It wasn't groundbreaking, but it was different. And it was like watching someone play a game, except just it wasn't. It was just fun. That's the best way I could put it. It was fun. So despite what people may say about certain things, I don't let other people's opinions persuade me. Just like I don't, just like I didn't let people's opinions on Sonic 06, persuade me to not play it. Everyone said it was the worst game in the world, and I'm like, it can't be that bad. Then I saw gameplay of it, and I'm like, okay, that looks pretty bad. But I'm sure that I don't know, like there was some stuff with common sense there. And then I actually got Sonic 06, $5 on eBay. I did not spend more than $5 on Sonic 06. There was no way I was gonna buy Sonic 06 full price for $20 at GameStop. I'm still waiting for Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric to go under $5. And with the Switch coming out and the Wii U becoming obsolete, it wouldn't surprise me if by the end of the year I'll find Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric copies for like, chump change. But I did play Sonic 06 like a couple years ago, and to be honest with you, yeah, it's bad. It's not good at all. The glitches up the wazoo, the gameplay mechanics were very faulty, the story sucked, and just there was a lot of negatives to Sonic 06. But worst game ever made, I wouldn't go that far. I've played much worse games than Sonic 06. There have been much worse games. Like Ride to Hell Retribution. That game, there is nothing positive about that game. There is absolutely nothing. Like, I saw gameplay footage of it. I tried it for myself. Immediately deleted it. No. I am not. I'm never gonna play Ride to Hell again. That was just terrible. And then the Rambo game that they released for PS3, the one that was kind of like a rail shooter. You know, the one with the really piss poor graphics. You know that game. That game was worse than Sonic 06. And from what I understand, a lot of people say that Rise of Lyric is worse than Sonic 06. I mean, again, I have yet to find out. I mean, I've seen gameplay of it, and everyone's like, "Oh, see, look at how bad it is. Don't spend money on this." And I'm like, "Right on." I wasn't going to, because I almost never buy games at full price unless I'm really heavily invested in them. Like, for example, the new Zelda that's coming out in about a month's time. I'm definitely going to buy brand new full price because I'm a Zelda nerd. I'm a Zelda fanatic. I need Zelda in my life. I've been hyped for this game ever since it was announced. And, hopefully the Wii U version isn't really downgraded from the Switch version because I'm still holding off on the Switch. The reason I'm holding off on the Switch, I think I've said this already, but it's basically because I'm waiting for more games that I'm interested in to come out for it. I know Splatoon 2 is coming out, but also Ultra Street Fighter 2, which I'm really excited about. And then there's a Zelda one, but I don't want to spend $300 plus 60 more, and then on top of that just to get the new Zelda on the go. Because the way I see it, I'll just wait it out, wait for more games to come, and then I'll buy a Switch. Not for a discounted price, but I'll buy a Switch and then I'll buy Zelda, and then I'll also get Ultra Street Fighter 2, just something else other than Zelda to play. I still have a Wii U, and the Wii U is still kicking. I'm still playing it. I've recently been playing a lot of Twilight Princess HD on it. I've been playing some Hyrule Warriors and Smash Brothers. I've even played some Bayonetta. And Bayonetta. That's something that I just okay. As far as Bayonetta goes, it's a good game, like gameplay wise, but it's just the story to me is kind of boring. But again, that's just my opinion. I still think Bayonetta is an awesome character. I still think that the games are awesome. I still think that they're worth playing multiple times through. They're like the Devil May Cry games, except not as they don't have a protagonist that's as cool as Dante. I said it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize, even though I just did. But either way, Bayonetta will never be as cool as Dante to me. And that's not to say that Bayonetta sucks. Okay, I love Bayonetta. I will never not love Bayonetta. I just like Dante that much more, and that goes for both the classic and this new Dante that we have. Like, personally, I would like a new Devil May Cry game, whether it's Devil May Cry 5 or whether it's DMC 2. Both games I would welcome with open arms. Hell, in fact, I would not mind it if, because I understand that the Devil May Cry reboot that they released in 2013 was less a reboot and more just a reimagining slash new spin-off, I guess. Just like an alternate dimension, alternate reality. And I would not mind if they pulled like classic Mega Man and Mega Man X, where both series are running alongside each other simultaneously. Whether Capcom will actually go through with it or not, that's up in the air. They haven't done any game that hasn't been Street Fighter in how long? Well, which isn't true because I hear Resident Evil 7 is kicking ass right now. And I've only played the demo of it, and I actually kind of like it. I mean, not like it, I'd like to spend $60 on this, but, I'd like to play it at the very least. I'll probably wait till when it goes on sale. I mean, I've played it because I've played some of it, but I haven't played all of it. And the main reason is I just I don't really have a whole lot of time to game. The most I do every single day is I wake up and then I do my business, I do what I need to do, and then my gaming time is usually just Killer Instinct for about 15 minutes, and then I get to work. But anyways, this is the part where I'm going to talk about Royal Rumble. I've noticed that I'm at 19 minutes, and the last podcast was just a little over 15 minutes. I don't want to take too much of your time. So those of you who are not interested in wrestling talk, turn off the podcast right now. Even if you're not into wrestling and you just want to hear me ramble about something that I'm very passionate, I love, then stay. The more views, the better. Anyways, I recently saw the Royal Rumble this past Sunday, and a lot of people hate it. A lot of people hated it. A lot of people loved it. I personally enjoyed the show. I didn't watch the pre-show, so I didn't know that the club had won the tag team titles from Cesaro and Sheamus, and I'm actually kind of excited that the club won. That makes for a new reign, I guess. And not to mention, the club kind of needs the title. The club needs a title at this point because this past year since their debut, they've been presented as a joke. You know, they always came up short against the New Day. The New Day would always beat up on them, and it's just. Ugh. And then of course the Old Day segment, it was just bleh. And Gallows and Anderson deserve a whole lot more than what they were getting. And so hopefully this is the start of a lengthy reign for them. The show opened with the women's match, which was Bayley versus Charlotte Flair. Now, I know that Bayley is really popular among wrestling nerds. I understand that people love her. And I'm just going to say it right now. I don't see it. I don't like her. She's ugly. She's not that good in the ring. Her finisher is bleh. And just her music is grating. Basically, what you need to know is I was rooting for Charlotte to win. And that's not really a good sign. I mean, okay, that really is just personal stuff with me. But it's just I was rooting for Charlotte to win, and thankfully she did win. And that was a pretty good match, if I do say so myself. It was entertaining. It had really good moments, and Charlotte really brought it. She's been bringing it for the past year. I know a lot of people say that, oh, she's overpushed, blah 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 blah. I think that kind of adds to her character because, Charlotte is basically supposed to be overpushed. She's supposed to be presented as this big deal because Ric Flair's daughter. Come on, I mean they weren't going to not push her to the moon. They weren't going to present her to be the best ever. There will be a time when she will get her comeuppance. I think it'll be at this year's WrestleMania. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But the next match after this was Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, which the match was great, and Roman Reigns lost. He lost. I mean, yeah, it was due to interference from Braun Strowman, but he lost. He lost a Universal title match. Roman Reigns lost a match that everybody expected him to win. Therefore, Kevin Owens is still your Universal Champion. So, I mean, you know what? No, I'll save this for later. The match after this, I'm trying to remember. Hang on, let me look this up. Because the match after it, hold up, Royal Rumble 2017 card. Let us see. Let's see the matches. I'm looking at Wikipedia for Christ's sake. The match after that was, oh yeah, Neville and Rich Swann, the Cruiserweight Championship. I like Neville. I really do. I wanted him to kill Rich Swann, and he did just that. And he looked pretty good doing it too. He made him tap out. Seriously. I wouldn't say it was a classic match or it was Neville's best, but hey, this match showed a lot of character. It showed the most character work in the entire night. The most character work because Neville, for those who are unaware, for those who are uninitiated, Neville used to be like this super clean-cut good guy. He was a really good guy, and he was awesome too. He had this move called the Red Arrow, where he would just do this flip in midair and just come crashing down on his opponent. Like, he had such a high-flying, high-impact moveset. He looks jacked. He's freaking amazing within ring, and just he worked a very slow and methodical style. And on one hand, that's good character work, and it's supposed to make you hate him. That's a good bad guy move to make, in my opinion. But either way, Neville walked away with the Cruiserweight Championship. Now he's the king of the Cruiserweights, which is pretty exciting because maybe the Cruiserweights will start meaning something. Maybe they will. Anyways, after this was a lot of people are saying is the match of the night. And the match of the night, I would say, yeah, definitely John Cena versus AJ Styles. Mostly because this is a match that a lot of people didn't think would ever happen in their lifetime. But it did. Not only has it happened 4 times. And John Cena wins the title off AJ Styles in this match to tie Ric Flair's 16-time world champion record. He's going to drop it at Elimination Chamber, I'm sure. And okay. He's going to lose a title and he's going to break Ric Flair's title record. He's going to break it at some point. I know he will. And a lot of people are hating on that. A lot of people hate John Cena. I'm indifferent to the guy. I think he's a really good guy outside and inside the ring. He's a good hand to have, and I mean, he's talented. The guy can rap. The guy can wrestle. The guy he can sell you on a match when he's actually trying. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me there, but I truly believe that John Cena is deserving of the spot that he's in. He's worked hard for it. I mean, I know a lot of people hate him, and it's not really popular to like Cena right now, which is what, I don't like Cena. I'm just admitting that, you know what? Cena deserves all this. He takes a lot of abuse from the fans. He takes it with a smile. He goes into the ring, does his job, sells people. The crowd popped for him winning. The crowd just went ballistic when he won. He's got to be doing something right because for a long time he's been getting booed. And now he's, yeah, there's still some boos mixed in there, but the majority is cheers right now. But anyways, next was the Royal Rumble, which Randy Orton won by eliminating Roman Reigns, who came out at number 30. Now, I'm not going to talk about the entire match who came out when, but I will say this Rumble was kind of boring. And the reason it was so boring was because there was very little surprises, There were very little surprises. The only surprise was the debut of Ty Dillinger. For those who don't know, he's an NXT talent, and his whole thing is that he's a perfect 10. And of course, he came out at number 10, which everyone wanted. And then immediately after him, James Ellsworth comes out. And James Ellsworth is probably the biggest waste of space in the WWE currently. Should not be there at all. And he gets a Royal Rumble spot? No. Just no. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Roman Reigns came out at number 30. Everybody hates that fact that he came out at number 30. And you know what? I don't get why. He lost the match. People are like, oh, we could have had Samoa Joe at that. We could have had Finn Balor making a return. First of all, Finn Balor said he wasn't well enough to compete again. He wasn't going to be here. Oh, Kurt Angle. There was no way Kurt Angle was going to be in this Royal Rumble. They're still running evaluations on him, as far as I know. I don't know what the results of that are. And then it's like, oh, he's burying the other talent. Really, he's burying the other talent. He's making them look bad because Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, and Undertaker were eliminating all of the biggest guys right now. They eliminated Dean Ambrose, eliminated Dolph Ziggler, they eliminated Bray Wyatt. No, not Bray Wyatt. They eliminated all these guys. Is what I'm trying to say. Rusev, Big E, Sheamus. They eliminated all of them. And Roman Reigns is the problem? No. And even then, even if Samoa Joe debuted at number 30, he would have lost. So you'd want Samoa Joe to debut at number 30 only to lose the Rumble to Randy Orton. It's just, people just love to hate on Roman Reigns at this point, and I don't blame you, but at the same time, get over yourselves. Seriously, just get over yourselves. Anyways, I'm nearing in at 30 minutes here. I'm not going to dwell too long on the subject. I'm going to close out with this, okay? Because this is very important to me that I say this. If anybody, like, I'm about to get Daddy Joker on you, but just understand this is coming from a place that hits very close to home currently. If you are feeling worthless and if you're feeling like ending your life, basically if you're feeling suicidal, understand that that's not the way to go. Someone out there is going to care. You may think no one cares, but someone will. And life is precious, and it's always worth living. I know there's a lot of people who, oh, I know that's cheesy. I know that's like, oh, what are you, a freaking preacher or something? But just heart to heart, someone cares. Life is always worth living. You know, just because it seems hard doesn't mean it won't get better. Because you know, it's like I don't know if this quote originated from The Dark Knight. I'm pretty sure it didn't, but the point is, night is always darkest just before the dawn. Just keep pushing on. Just keep pushing through, you know? Just because things seem unbearable doesn't mean that they won't eventually get better. It's up to you to do that, though. You can't just give it up. It's up to you to get the help that you need. I'm sure that there's a lot more factors into it than what I'm letting on here because I'm highly uneducated on the matter, but I need to get that out there to anybody who feels like they may be struggling with life right now, contemplating things like ending themselves. If if it helps at all, someone out there cares. Someone is always available. Someone is always going to be there for you, and they're always going to care. I'm sorry, I got a little carried away there, but the point is like life is precious, and it's always worth living. Anyways, I'm Joker216, and I will see you guys next podcast, where hopefully I'll be a lot more organized and the podcast will be shorter. Anyways, see you guys.